Hello to all YouTubers and welcome back, as I finally have the stand in hand, and this is day number 1 of the 90-gallon build process here. As you can see, the aquarium is up and running, but it's only filled up with water momentarily. You can see that there's lots of micro bubbles and everything inside of the tank adhered to the front of the glass and the sides. And that's perfectly normal when you fill it up with fresh water. I haven't added any salt, and this is not the water that I'm going to use because this is tap water. But I kind of wanted to fill up the system and test out the stand, which is here, and over on this side is the other stand. Now I'm getting all kinds of ideas here. I'm actually thinking about placing this stand next to this one right here in this corner, and maybe hide away, the top-off system and whatever, or maybe even install another aquarium on top. I don't know. My wife, she says I'm way over my head, but I'm getting all kinds of ideas. But if I do decide to take this route, I have to repair the stand. As you can see here, we're gonna zoom in, and you can see how serious this thing is. It's got a lot of rotting going on, but we're gonna do a quick review of the stand, and there's a couple of things I wanted to show you guys, which unfortunately I'm not gonna be able to show you, and that was how to properly shim an aquarium. Now the majority of you guys probably live in apartments or in houses where the aquarium is not leveled properly. And so in my case, it's actually quite leveled. And it's important to use a leveler here. You can see that the little bubble here is directly in the center, and that's very important. It's important to take this leveler and level it sideways and from front to back. And I'm very fortunate that it is perfectly leveled. And you can also use this tape measuring thing here, which is not working quite well, but you can see the bubble is also in the middle. So this is just like a small 99-cent tape measurer that comes with a leveler. But I'm actually a little disappointed. I was actually hoping that I can have the aquarium unleveled so I can show you guys how to shim it below in the stand. It's actually quite simple to do, and all you have to do is just go to Home Depot or one of these hardware stores and buy yourself shimming wood shims. And it kind of looks like those door stoppers that resemble a triangle that you can put under the door to stop the door from closing. It kind of looks like that, and you use these little shims and you put them down below and you slide them in and snap them up, and it's quite simple and easy to do. But it is very important that when you're first setting up your marine aquarium, you definitely want to make sure that your aquarium is leveled. If the aquarium is not leveled, what happens is that it puts excess amount of pressure to the front of the glass or the side of the glass, and it can cause leaks. And this is just glass. If we're talking about acrylic here, it can actually cause the acrylic to bulge forward. So in the end, about a year from now, your tank is not going to look like a rectangle. It's going to look like a circle, basically, in other words. So we're going to move on quickly to the stand here, which I'm extremely happy about it. Solid oak wood. It has 3/4 plywood, solid oak plywood, and it also contains some 2x4s. And the great thing about this particular stand itself, there's some good news and some bad news here. And if people come up to me and they tell me, well, what do you want to hear first, the good news or the bad news? I always tell them, let me hear the bad news. And the bad news is that if you ever want to get this stand, for those of you out there, you're not going to be able to get it, because this stand is made by Oceanic, and it's a specialty stand, basically. It's 32 inches tall, and the majority of, like 90% of all stands are 28 inches. But for reef aquariums, you want to make sure that your stand is a little taller. considering that we have to install a protein skimmer below and maybe raise it off the ground in order for it to work properly. So the bad news is that Oceanic, Kent Marine, All Glass Aquarium, Aqueon, all of these companies were bought by one major company. And what the major company has decided to do is that they want Aqueon to be the only ones to manufacture stands and aquariums. So Oceanic, if you want to get an aquarium from Oceanic, you will probably only be able to get a hold of a nano system. They're still making nano systems and the such, but unfortunately, this stand was actually rather expensive, very expensive. It was like $700, seriously. But the good news is, and the bad news is you won't be able to get it. And the good news is that Aqueon is actually making, stands that are similar to this, and they're called, I forgot the name, but I'll post it down below or make it maybe add an annotation. But these stands made by Aqueon are actually 32 inches tall, and they don't contain a center brace, which is the great feature about this overall stand. Now, I'm going to compare this stand to that of the old stand, and there is one thing I don't like about this stand, and we're going to cover that. So we're going to open the doors here. We're going to take a look inside. I'm not going to plumb it. See, the thing about this particular stand here is that it resembles, it kind of looks like it has a center brace, but it doesn't. It's actually a dummy center brace. So when we take here, we're going to open the doors, and the light, see this here, I don't know if you can see it well with the camera, because the lighting in my room is basically a dummy center brace. It's attached to the door, and we're going to open the door here to get a closer look, and you can see that it is a dummy center brace, just so that you can easily be able to hide the insides by closing the doors. But that's one of the features that I really looked for in this particular stand. Considering the fact that it does not have a center brace, allows you to easily install larger than normal refugium. The majority of 90-gallon systems contain a 30-gallon refugium, which is only 30 inches long, possibly by 14. But in this case, I was able to easily squeeze in a 36-inch sump, as you see here. Now, there's one thing I don't like about it, honestly speaking, considering the fact that the front does not have a center brace, and it's very sturdy, guys. Let me tell you this, it's solid oak wood, really well constructed. It actually has an opened top here, and this is important when you're using the Oceanic Tech tanks. Very important to be able to have an open top, because this particular system has 2 drains and 2 returns, as you can see here. And it's important to be able to have a stand with this particular tank that will work. Otherwise you're gonna have to modify the stand itself in order to be able to sustain the 2 drains and 2 returns. And so the thing that I don't like about the overall unit stand here is the fact that it has an open back. Now, if I was to compare that to this other Oceanic Tech stand here, which has a closed back, and some holes up here on each, 2 on each side and 1 in the center, so as to allow you to take some of the electrical components and swing them around the back through the holes. This one here has an open back, and because it has an open back, it will allow more noise, being done by the sump refugium to escape the aquarium or the stand itself. And so I felt that it was not needed to have an open back, considering that it doesn't have a center brace. So if your main problem was a center brace, some stands do have an open back so that you can easily slide the sump refugium in there. But otherwise, I may modify it. I don't know exactly how I'm going to plumb it. I may actually hard plumb the whole system. I just filled it up quickly for the purpose of making this video. And as you can see here, this is my beast. This tank is going to have an ultimate filtration system with a skimmer that's rated for 240 gallons. The socks here are not being used at the moment, but will be. You know, I just filled it up quickly. Another thing that I wanted to cover, which I'll probably show you guys a little later in the video, in a future video, is that I've replaced the foam pad that goes here in this bubble stage, the bubble diffuser stage, right over here. And so I've replaced this foam pad for the simple reason that it's actually a foam pad, and I've replaced it. It comes with a blue foam pad, and I've since replaced it with a black true sponge pad, which allows less of the micro bubbles to escape into the other chamber. And I'm going to show you guys the one that I got. It's from eShops. Many online vendors sell it, but overall the stand is awesome. It has a really nice sturdy construction. As you can see here, these are what holds the doors together. Very well constructed, solid wood. And you know what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna install some of my Reef Keeper Lite PC4 modules and connect them over to the tops here on the sides to be able to properly install this system and keep as much of the equipment inside of the stand as I can. So I hope that you guys have enjoyed the video. Stay tuned for the second video, which is going to be an overall review of my Oceanic Tech Tank here. Awesome system, not your ordinary 90-gallon tank, and I'm going to cover that in video number 2, or maybe day number 2, and we're going to get cooking. We're going to get started. I'm going to start ordering the live rock, the sand, everything that's going to be needed for this particular system. So I hope you guys have quickly enjoyed this video. Many more videos to come. Stay tuned. If you guys really want to learn how to properly set up a 90-gallon system, stay tuned for future videos. NewYorkSteelo signing out. Peace.